honored colleagues, distinguished guests, and the bereaved family of the Honorable Edcel Lagman. Today, we gather not merely to mourn the passing of a legislator, but to honor a life devoted to the unrelenting pursuit of justice, the unwavering defense of democracy, and the fearless exercise of principle. To speak of Edcel Lagman is to speak of a statesman in the truest sense of the word. He was a man of deep conviction, unafraid to stand alone when necessary, and unyielding in his belief that governance is not about placating the powerful, but about serving the powerless. For decades, he walked these halls as both a legislator and a leader, sometimes in the majority, often in the minority, but always in the service of the Filipino people. His name became synonymous with progressive reform, human rights, and an independent Congress that held itself accountable to history and not just to the tides of politics. He was the architect of laws that will endure beyond his lifetime. The Responsible Parenthood and Reproductive Health Act, the abolition of the death penalty, the Human Rights Victims Reparation and Recognition Act, each a pillar of his legislative legacy. They were not always popular. They were not always easy. But Edcel Lagman did not come to Congress to seek the approval of the comfortable. He came to uplift those who had been forgotten. And yet, to remember him only for his legislative triumphs is to tell only half of his story. Edcel was more than a sum of the bills he passed or the speeches he delivered. He was a mentor to many, a fierce but respectful opponent, and above all, a man who understood that democracy is built not on agreement, but on dialogue, not on uniformity, but on dissent. We who remain in public service would do well to learn from his example, to debate fiercely but fairly, to disagree but never to dehumanize, to never confuse power with principle, nor compromise with surrender. In the House of Representatives, we are measured not by the numbers of our terms, nor the height of our titles, but the weight of the causes we choose to carry. Edcel Lagman carried his causes with honor. He carried them with dignity. He carried them even when they became burdens. And today, as we bid him farewell, we take upon ourselves the responsibility of carrying them forward. To his family, we extend our deepest condolences. But know this, Edcel Lagman does not belong to the past. His work, his words, and his wisdom belong to us, now in the present and the future. Farewell, Congressman Lagman, Mano Edcel. May the light of your service never fade. May the laws you fought for never be undone. And may history remember you not just as a legislator, but a man who stood for what was right, even when it was not easy, even when it was not convenient, and even when you had to stand alone. Maraming salamat, Edcel. Paalam at pagpupugay.